Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalam ala Rasulih al-Karim. Amma ba'd. This is in the series of premarital course. This is session number 7, and the topic that we are going to discuss in this session is whom to marry. Who is the best choice to be married to? We're going to talk about this. Why? Because it's on the mind of a lot of young people. And so many comes to us, and also these days with the advancement of technology, the whole idea of selecting a spouse is changing. At one time, parents used to play a major role in it, but that is not the case at this point in time. Many of the time, young people come and then they tell their parents, "Mom, Dad, I found somebody, meet my future spouse." And this is what is happening. Or at some stage, they get their parents involved, not from the very beginning. So the social media, the marriage bureaus, the gatherings of young people like MSA or other meetings, uh, matrimonial services run by ISNA, ICNA, or other major organization are usually is the way to find a spouse these days. There are some of the other aspects that we are going to cover in this session also. One is there are marriages that are happening out of the culture and sometimes even out of faith into other communities. This is one of the things. The second aspect, which is worrisome for us and many of the scholars, is the delay in marriage. Many of the young people are choosing to delay marriage, and we are going to talk about the reasons for it and whether they are justified or not. And then the last is that we know the fact that family dysfunctionality is on the rise and the divorces are on the rise. So we need to be well aware of the reasons for these, and starts with the selection of the right spouse. So inshallah, we'll talk about a little bit on the delay of marriage. And we know that a number of well-educated and women who are in the late 20s or early 30s are struggling to get married, to find a suitable spouse for them. So why is that? Many of the young people, they concentrate at an age when they should be thinking of getting married and pursuing their career or their education. Many of the especially the parents sometimes push their children to go for that. The other reality is young boys, whether in their late 20s or even in the 30s, they like to marry girls who are younger in age. They avoid marrying girls who are in their late 20s or early 30s. And the statistics shows us that in the late 70s or in the 70s and 80s and before that, the average age for marrying for boys and girls used to be much, much lower than what it is now. And it's unfortunate. At that time, the people used to follow the commandments of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that says in the famous hadith, when you are ready for marriage and can afford it, go ahead and marry. And the examples are there of many successful marriages. So, what are some of the reasons? It's interesting. A study that we did brought some of these uh, forth. For women, it is the fear of control at a younger age. Being indecisive at that age. As I said before, sometimes the education and the career is the forefront and they want to work on that. They are also waiting and being indecisive of waiting for the right spouse or suitable proposal. What does that mean? You know, they want somebody that's an idol for them, somebody who's perfect for them, and so they are picky when their time is right, and then when the time passes by, it causes them to start to worry. For men, what is it? uh, Mostly parents. They push their parents to go for their children, especially the boys, to go for education and career. And also sometimes finance is also an issue. They want to settle down. They want to have some stability, whatever that means for them, and it varies from place to place, and it varies from people to people. And one of the key thing is, or a couple of them, is the fear of rejection and the commitment that is needed in a marriage, and they're scared of that. So, what should be the criteria for spousal selection? Our Sheikh Noor Abdullah, Allah be pleased with him, he is a imam and also a member of the North American Fiqh Council. He says marriage is a commitment and relationship that starts in this world, in this dunya, and should continue in the akhirah and in paradise together. What a profound statement, mashallah, may Allah bless him. Rasulullah said in a famous hadith that men look for four things in a woman. Number one, the wealth, her lineage, her beauty, and then he said number four is the religion or taqwa. And then he said one should look and emphasize on the taqwa or the religion or the deen. So we're going to talk a little bit more about this taqwa or deen, and it has two components. Is of course the practicing of our religion of al-Islam, and also of khuluq, which means the character. Well, he said the same thing about the men, but only about the deen. And he said, if somebody who comes to you asking for the hand of your daughter, who is good in their religion and good in khuluq, consider them seriously. So this is something which is very important. So what is good deen or good khuluq? We'll talk about that. Imam Ghazali, in his book Ihya Ulumuddin, explains good character is an inward disposition that causes one to incline one towards praiseworthy traits and praiseworthy outwardliness. So it manifests, scholars says that it manifests into 6 different characters. Number one is being honest and trustworthy. This is the biggest pillar of a happy marriage, being honest and being trustworthy. One who is honest will also always speak the truth and speak the truth which is right, and this forms the basis of a strong trust between the couple. This is one of the most important things that we encourage our young people to work on. Small lies or small, sometimes people have the habit of saying small things and they say, we were just joking. Well, they should reconsider, because this is something which is not the characteristic of a good person, of a good character. Second thing, fulfilling the rights of each other. This is such an important aspect, but how would you fulfill the right if you don't even know what the rights are? Many of the young couple who come to us for premarital counseling or even marriage counseling, when we question them, Do you know the right of husband or the right of a wife? And they do not know, or they just know only some of them, only part of them. So it's very important for young people to educate themselves. The third thing is being cheerful and have a very positive attitude. This is so critical, so important to have a smiling face. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to be very cheerful, very happy person. He used to make other people happy. Even those who were there, who would, be his enemies or who would try to harm him, he would even be cheerful and happy with them. We have so many stories about Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The fourth aspect of having a good character is responding to good with good. This is such an important aspect in married life, to learn to say thank you, learn to say I love you, learn to say positive thing, learn to appreciate others, learn to appreciate the work that the husband and the wife are doing for each other. And on the opposite also is our Deen teaches us to be positive, respond anything which is negative with something which is positive, which is much better. So I strongly suggest that we invest in them. And then the last part of it is, which is also just as important, the sixth point is avoid harming anyone. I mean anyone. You know, we all know that domestic violence is on the rise. We all know that it's a big issue, not only in the community at large, but also in our own Muslim community. And I request and I suggest that we look at our spouse, our future spouse, with those characters. However, having said that, how do you find out? How do you know that the spouse that you're choosing have these characters? Usually people do not ask about these things. So that's where we come in as premarital counselors. When people come to us for premarital education, we ask them specific questions that at least start a dialogue about anger, about their habits, about what their choices are, about what they like and what they dislike, what are their expectations, and hundreds of other things that are important to live a happy married life. So my request is for young people to not to delay unnecessarily when you're ready to get married. As a matter of fact, remember those couples when they were surveyed who struggled through the early life of their married life were more together and they were more loving to each other. They were more, supportive of each other than those who came into a married life when everything was settled. They had a beautiful home. They have many, cars and all the other amenities of life. So struggling together brings love within the couple, inshallah. And I hope that this will be beneficial for you. If you are interested, anybody who's interested, come to rahma.org, our website, rahma.org, or call us or write to us, email us at rahma, RAHMAA, in the end, institute@gmail.com. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.